also make minutes from now if you like. Well, yeah, first watch the tutorial, I would say. So this is a little chunky gift, a little booklet. It has the designs of our Teal Memories kit on there, as you see. And when I open it, it opens like this. There are a whole lot of envelopes in here, and they are attached to each other like this. And in each of the envelopes you can add a little note, a little letter. There are cards in the sheets that you can use to write a little wish on. So if this is a gift, you can put a wish or a bit of money or something else, or a little coin or something in here for day 1, and then day 2 they open the second envelope, day 3 they open the third envelope. Yeah, and you have to hope that they only open them when they are intended to. So not like with advent calendars, open everything on the first day. No, that's not what this is for. So yeah, this is a very cute little gift here. You can put it like this. You can have it standing up when it's closed, etc. I really love this. One thing I forgot to mention in the tutorial is to print everything on 160 grams paper, not lighter, because otherwise it would be super flimsy and it would not be pretty. 160 grams paper, that's about 60 pound cover. So actually just twice the weight of normal paper. That would be already a lot better. And because there are panels on the front and the back, it makes the whole thing a bit sturdier, so that it's very pretty, like this. So I'm already explaining things how to make this, so let's not wait any longer and let's go to the tutorial. Enjoy! So these are the sheets that you're gonna get when you download the files, and there are 7 pages plus a back design. Now the back design is kind of optional. You can solve a lot of things with ink, but I'll tell you about it. Let me show you. So this is gonna be the cover and a card. Then we have all the little envelopes right here, and the closure circles, extra pockets, the panels, and some extra cards. And on the first and the last page it says print on back design, or you can ink the edges of the other side. And for the cards as well, you can print these on the back design, but if you want to keep them white, that's perfectly good as well. I chose to print the back design here. And you can actually also print the back design on all these pockets, but you will only see about this little piece and that little piece. So it's a bit more economical to ink that if you have some ink. Okay, and then when everything is printed, you know what's gonna happen. Cut it all out. So I cut everything out and I put it in this box. I always do that because otherwise I'm gonna lose everything everywhere and I have to search for it. And then I'm going to start making the cover first. So I have these 2 pieces and these are going to be the cover. And before I'm going to glue these pieces together, I'm going to score these 4 score lines. I'm going to do that with a scoring board, but you can always use a mat and an empty pen or an embossing pen. This just is a bit faster and easier. Make sure you're not going to go through the paper, so don't push too hard. The more you do this, the more you get the hang of it, of course. That's 1. There. And then I'm going to fold these. For crisp folds, it's always nice to have a bone folder, but that's super optional. There, like this. And I'm going to attach these first, and then I'm going to extra ink the edges a bit. But to attach these, you can use just glue or glue stick. I'm going to use double-sided tape because I love that. And I'm going to put the tape right next to the fold. That's why I like to make the folds first, so I can put my tape or glue next to the fold. Always make sure it sticks when you use this. remove the backing and then just lay this on top. Again, next to the fold. Like this, and now we have one big cover which is going to close like this. But before I'm going to add more to this, I'm first going to add a bit more ink to the edges. This is optional because already a lot of the edges have this fake faux ink edge, but I like to add a bit more, and also on the inside because the inside now doesn't have any. But you definitely don't need to do this. It just makes everything stand out a bit more. And you can add as much or as little as you like. I'm a fan of ink. And I'm just using a brown one. This is Vintage Photo, I think. Any brown. Look, if you like to use hot pink, please go ahead. Express yourself, express your creativity. So I'm gonna go all along the edges and every fold, and also on the inside, and also every fold. Oh, I forgot to do something, so I'm going to show you now, which is again optional. I have this corner punch and I'm going to round the corners a bit, but only these four, of course. There are no other corners, Tine. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's because they're already attached to each other. This is optional. But the advantage is that corners are always a little bit fragile, and when you round them, they're less fragile. And of course, you see now that I really need to ink these edges. See, and a little bit of ink, and you hardly see anything that I cut it. So this is a personal preference. Inking also helps to remove the white from the side of the paper. I know it's teeny tiny, but if you look to it from a side, that stark white will show through. And I don't really like if you have such a vintage design that then suddenly poof, like stark white is showing. This is me being a nitpicker for sure. So, and now the inside as well. See, I'm gonna go a bit harder here because, of course, there's nothing on the back yet. So this is inked, and at this stage you can still choose which is the outside and which is the inside. I'm just going to go like this, and I'm going to add some panels. But I'm not going to attach all the panels yet because I'm going to add some ribbon as well. So I'm going to start with this one. And as you see, if you choose to round that corner, you also want to round this corner. I'm just going to use the same corner rounder. I'm also going to add this one already, and I'm also going to add this one already. So these three I'm going to start with. These two will have a ribbon underneath. And before I'm going to do anything, I'm going to again, and you're gonna see me do this a lot, ink the edges. And then I'm just going to attach these with some tape on the outside and glue on the inside. You can use glue all over. That's just a personal preference. I like my edges to stick really well. So let's start with this one. There, and the first panel is about to go up, and from now on it's really important to check if your pieces the right way up. And this is the short piece that's gonna come on that side. And now I'm gonna just make sure there's about 3mm or 1/8 of an inch all around. Well, just place it in the center as much as possible. There we go. And the first panel has been added. Now you can think, Tina, why didn't you already design the panel on there? Well, this is 160 grams paper, but it is still not super sturdy. That's why I usually work with panels. It just makes the whole thing a lot more sturdy. And you have lots more of fun crafting to do. So I'm going to attach these as well. And here in the corners, I'm just going to add a little bit of more glue because the tape's a bit hard to put in the corners. There, I didn't put this one as straight as I wanted to. It's a little bit wonky, but it's on there. I can't change it anymore, and I'm going to embrace it. Okay, so now before I'm going to add these, I have here 2 pieces of ribbon. These are about, let's see, these are about, I think, 13 inches long. And I'm going to attach one here, and I'm going to attach one here. And then when it closes, these two will meet to make about, you'll see. Oh, you can also use these really thin, strong magnets instead. And then I would put one here, but I would put them in the center, and one here under the panel. Or a washer, if the magnet's really strong, that's enough. You can figure it out for yourself, but make sure you know what to do before you add the panels. But I'm going to show with just ribbons. Just gonna add a little piece of tape here, but I want to measure the center because I've been there. I thought, yeah, I can eyeball that, and then I couldn't. So here's the center, if I can still count. Yeah, so here's the center. Quickly here as well. There. Take care, don't put any tape on the outside 1/8 of an inch 3mm border because the panel will not cover that. So I'm gonna place it here up till about here just to be safe, and one here. I'm gonna make it a bit longer. Normally I like to have about 2 inches of tape to really secure my ribbon, but I don't have any. I don't have 2 inches here, so it's gonna be 1 inch here. Okay, so let me start here. Simply going to take my ribbon and cover it. There, that's okay. I see that my tape is wider than my ribbon, but that doesn't matter at all. And then here as well. And this one is going that way. Here, yeah, if you have these little thingies, make sure they're not peeking out of your panel later. Be a bit straighter, like this. Yeah, that's good. And now the panels can come on. So I already cut these corners as well. I rounded them, I inked them, and now I can add these. There, this looks pretty already. So now, and when I close it, like it should, like this, you can bind them together here. And I'm also going to add already some inside panels. These ones, but not yet this one. So these are the panels. This one will come here. I have to round the corners again. This one here, and these ones here. Make sure that the little medallion is facing the same way all over, because you can easily think, oh, it's like this, and then, oh, I did it wrong. So yeah, I'm going to leave this one for now. I'm going to round these corners, ink them, and attach them. So this middle panel will have to wait, and now it is time to make all the pockets. As you can see, there are 7 of these pockets, 1 for every day of the celebration week. To each other in the process, and then I'm going to finish them. So let me put these aside for a bit. There's gonna be a bit of inking. I'm going to add closures, etc, etc, etc. But first I'm going to score the lines. And I'm going to score these two, and here there are 2. Because the envelopes are going to be so bulky, we need this extra piece here. It's going to perhaps be a little bit fiddly, but try to make these folds as crisp and as precise as possible. That already will help you a lot. So I'm going to start with these. Then I'm going to do this one. And then this is one very long one. And then an extra one here. That's just an 1/8 of an inch further, or 3 millimeter about. And I'm going to fold them very nicely. Actually, this can go. Yeah, this will go better. And this all in. So this is all folded, etc. I'm going to add a little bit more ink. First on the outside here. I'm going to show you this time because there are a few things that need to be done. So then this fold, then this side a little bit. This doesn't all need very much. This one, this fold. Also this curve here deserves a bit of attention. Now, if you didn't cut very precise, ink will help hide that. So that's really a plus. Now, there's also going to be a little bit of a flap on the inside here. We're going to cover that. But this piece, there will be like a little piece here that will be showing, you see? So it's going to be like this, but this will be showing. And also this piece. So I'm going to add a little bit of extra ink there. So I have this scrap piece of paper. I'm going to just add a little bit of ink here on the edge. Then I'm going to add, you know what? I'm going to fold it just a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit of color here. It's so little color that you have to add that I find it a bit odd to print a whole back page there. You know, that's why I chose not to, but you can still print the back design on the back. And I'm also going to add, open this, a bit of ink here. Yeah, I don't have a smaller blender, I think, just here, there. And then you can let the ink dry a bit. Okay, I'm not going to add this panel yet, but what I'm going to do is first add the closure. And for the closure, we have all these little circles here, but on their own, they're a little bit too flimsy. So I'm going to make them a bit sturdier. These, by the way, are perfect to punch out if you printed them at 100% with a 5/8 circle punch. I think this is 5/8. I'm going to check that just to be sure. Yes, this is 5/8. And I make this closure so often that I usually have a whole box with these 5/8 pieces of circles that I already punched out of sturdy scrapbook paper. So this is really sturdy paper, like, I don't know, 250 grams, I think. And I'm gonna glue 2 on top of each other and then glue 1 of these on top of each other. When that's done, I'm gonna ink the edges, punch a hole in the center, and it is ready. Let me show you quickly one. Have my thingy. If you already saw me do this like 5 million times, just speed up a little bit, I would say. Skip this part. So I have here 2 of my scrap pieces. Glue them on top of each other. Add more glue. And then on top, glue 1 of these circles. Now, of course, you see all kinds of colors on the side, etc. Now, the bottom you're not gonna see. If you're gonna look at that bottom, you're weird. Just saying. Okay, so ink the edges so it looks more like one thing. Then pierce a hole in the center. You can use a crocodile, obviously. And yeah, with a brad, this is ready. This closure is ready. So there are 7 pockets, which means we need 14 of these. And where are these gonna go? There's one gonna, let me put this aside for a bit. One is gonna go in here and one is going to go about here. And maybe we close it like this. So I'm going to find the center here. Going to make a mark. It's okay if you're about in the center, this circle will completely cover your marks. So I'm very confident using just a pen here. And then here in the center as well, that will be for me about here. Here's the center. And for here, I'm going to use my ruler, line this up with this first mark that I made. And I'm gonna measure, I think 1.5 inch inwards. That's here. Let me check again if this is really in the center now. A little bit more here. Yeah, here it is. Gonna punch these marks. I take my closure tool again. For those who see me using this for the first time, it's just a piece of chipboard with a slot here. And now I have my closure piece. I put my little brad through it. I slide the whole brad in the slot, through the hole. Here, open the legs. I can do that confidently because this piece is keeping everything in place. Then I'm going to use a little piece of washi tape. It doesn't matter which kind because it's the inside of the envelope. No one's gonna ever see that, hopefully, otherwise you're weird again. Okay, and I'm going to add this on top. And if you slide anything in there, it won't be in the way, you know, like this. And if I now slide this off, I have a nice little gap to add my thread later to close the pockets. And I'm going to add one here as well. If you happen to have brads with very long legs, make sure they go this way because otherwise they will stick out. And for this one, since I'm going to add a panel on top here, I'm not going to use my washi tape, but just double-sided glue, double-sided glue, double-sided tape, I mean. Okay, so I'm just going to stick that on top. I'm going to keep the backing on for now. It's just to protect, you know, it forms an extra film of glue between these prongs and the paper. It just protects them a bit better. Okay, and this can go now. And now I can add glue or tape to this piece there. And it's possible that you need to cut off a little bit, and that is perfectly fine because I made the panel a bit large. So I'm probably going to have to, yeah, I see. I'm going to have to cut off a little bit here, and that's perfectly fine. I'm gonna cut off a bit here and there because you cut these by hand. You will never do it perfectly, and that is amazing. That's fine, that's human. So I'm already going to take off like a little bit here because I want to check that it's still possible to close and not peek out here. Okay, a little bit more. Okay, this is great. Here's my ink again. As I said, optional. This time I'm just going to use some glue here because a lot of this little piece of paper is just curves. There. Take this backing off and then glue this on here. There. Beautiful. And now I see that this piece is not lining. I cut off a little bit too much here, but that's okay. You can or cut more, but I wouldn't cut too much if not necessary. I'm just gonna add more ink here. That'll help as well. There. And I see that I in the future need to add more ink here as well before I'm making these envelopes. There, everything's covered. And I am not going to assemble this envelope yet because we have to attach them to each other before closing them. So what I'm going to do now is prepare all these other envelopes exactly the same way. Oh yes, I quickly wanted to clarify one thing. So you see these white pieces here. So don't score at the edge of the color and the white here. I added that extra piece of color here. If you don't fold perfectly, you see a little bit of white shining through. So I always bleed over my design a little bit more. That's just something that I do. So score at the shadowy parts, not the hard color white parts here. So here are two shadowy parts for these score lines, so don't score here. I just wanted to tell you that. So I finished all the pockets the same way, so they're fold and they're inks and the closures are added and some ink here, etc. They're all done. And the next thing I'm going to do is add tape to these 3 tabs of all the pockets. Now with tape, I can do that beforehand. With glue, you can definitely do that with glue too, but you can't do that beforehand because the glue will be dry too quickly, even if you use wet glue instead of a glue stick. That's totally your choice, but if you choose glue, just add glue only right before you're going to attach these. I am just going to add tape and I'm going to add it on the front, right next to the fold again. See? Next to the fold. And it's okay if my tape is not as white as the tab. That's okay, but do it as close as possible to the fold, not to the other sides. And here, with that weird tab thingy, again, as close as possible to that second fold, not the first one. Because we need this little extra piece for volume. So I'm going to do exactly the same for all of these. So, and now I'm going to attach them to each other. Now it's very important because there are numbers on there to keep the same order, unless you have some secret code with different numbers, that's up to you. But I'm just gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like we learned in elementary school. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm not going to remove these yet, but I'm going to attach them like this to each other. See, 1, 2, 3, I'm gonna go from right to left. And I'm going to remove the tape and then glue this edge right next to that fold, that second fold again. If you're using glue, now is the time to apply glue here. Actually, every time when I remove a backing, that's when you should apply glue. Okay, and now I'm going to line up this edge. I'm going to turn it this way, right next to that fold. Line up top and bottom as beautiful as you can. There we go. I'm going to remove this one. And then I'm going to add number 3. And now, again, I'm removing the backing. And I'm gonna attach number 4. See, and every time that little piece of 1/8 of an inch is between there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I'm gonna check because I'm warning. Keep the order, and then I see myself doing absolutely not that. So 5, number 6. See, it needs a little bit of ink here. Quickly do that. There. And then finally number 7. And number 7 will attach to the cover. So now that these are all attached, we can actually close them. So now I'm going to remove these backings. And then carefully stick them on top here. Okay, make sure they're straight before actually gluing them down. Now, next these two. There, and our little pocket chain is ready. And now you can put in there some money, etc. But I also added these cards that you can write something on and put into these pockets. And of course, yeah, you can put in there anything that's rather flat. But I left some room to actually put something in there, not just a little tiny card. You can actually fold a bit of money in there as well, and you will see. And now for the closure, I'm just going to use a bit of twine here. I'm going to add, should I put it on the bottom or the top? I'm gonna add it to the bottom this time. So just going to add some thread here, double knot or triple one, just to be sure. Cut off the ends, tuck in the end if it's sticking out, close the envelope, and of course you can put something in there later as well, of course. And then what I usually do, 1, 2, 3, and then cut it off. There. You can also use it like this, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. That's actually pretty as well. And I'm going to close all these pockets the same way. These are all closed, and now I will fold them like this. So the one will be on top, and you see with all these brads touching each other, it's actually quite chunky, and that is why the cover is so thick, so wide. So let me take the cover here, and this will fit in here. Now it's just a matter of adding this here. What I'm gonna do is to take the last one, number 7, the tab. You just take off the backing or you add glue, and now I want to be precise. I'm going to hold it like this because I don't want to glue that part that is 1/8 of an inch, but I'm going to glue this fold against the fold here, right next to it. Also keep the same distance from the sides as you did with your panels here. Now I'm going to flip this all to here, so like this. And now I can add my last panel on the inside, like this right here. So I'm gonna add some tape and glue. There, this is attached, so we fold this like this. So the first thing that the receiver of this booklet sees is number 1, to be opened, and 2, 3, etc, etc. Of course, if you want to do it the other way around, please go ahead, you choose. Yeah, this indeed, these brads make it rather bulky, as I said before. You can also choose completely other ways of closing this. You can actually use wax seals if you really want them to wait until the right date and not sneak in there, or use glue dots that are not permanent, so they can open and close them again, or just some tape, some washi tape if you like, and then it will be a lot thinner in there. So, and then the last thing I have, this is purely optional. These are the last 2 pockets in my box here, and this comes here, this pocket, and this pocket comes right, oh no, it's the other way around. So this pocket comes right here. You can also use only one if you like, and this pocket comes right here. But as you can see, I have to round this corner again because I chose that. Little bit of extra ink. This one doesn't need a rounded corner. And then I'm going to add like really, really thin tape. This is only 1/4 inch wide. You even have smaller ones. I think I even have smaller ones, but this one's opened, and that's just the person I am. And I'm going to add some tape just on the bottom and here. And then anything you stick in there will just get keep being stuck. As I said, this is completely optional. You really don't need to add this. If you use glue, just add a little bead, a small bead of glue on the edge, not more. And only stick something in there when you're sure it is really dry. So, and now just line it up with the panel. Oops, and that's not how you line up. Can I save it? Oh, yes, I can. Line up better. I hope I can get this off as well. Yeah. Ooh. I'm kind of ruining it here, but you won't see it. Yep, that's a lot better. There, and now you can actually stick something in there. And I'm going to do exactly the same with this one. There we go. And now, close it like this. It's completely ready. And look what a beautiful gift that is. It looks so cute. Cute, small, chunky. I love that it's chunky because that means that the receiver of this gift knows there's something in there. If your brads seem to be a bit too thick, you can also do a 5-day celebration as long as it's an uneven number. This is so beautiful. You can put it standing up there. And you can even have it out like this. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. To make this, just opt in on the link below and an email will be sent to you with the download link so you can make this yourself. If you have a friend that you think might like this tutorial as well, just send them a link to this video. And now I wish you a lot of fun making this and a very beautiful day. Bye bye.